Now for a report on one of the officers, or from one of the officers who arrested the suspect, who was in on the arrest of the suspect. We switch to Bob Whitten at KCRA in Sacramento, California.
What the first call that I got was that the president had been shot. The shot had come from the Texas School Book Depository at Elm and Houston Street. They sent me down there. I started in with a couple of deputy sheriffs. We were shaking the building as well as a bunch of other officers, but one of these deputies and I were lucky enough to find the window where the shots were fired from and also the 3 shells laying on the floor. I went back down, secured the scene, went back down and reported to the inspector so he could get the crime lab and everything out there. And while I was there talking to him, a call came out that an officer had been shot. Some citizen was using the police radio. That call came out, the acting lieutenant in Oak Cliff and I were together, standing there talking to the inspector, and he ordered us, being that we had all the police in town pulled down there on Elm Street, he ordered us to leave this investigation of the president's shooting and go to Oak Cliff. We did. Got out there, the officer had already been picked up. We got a description of the suspect, started following his path as best we could. Had information that he was in one of 2 houses that were vacant over on East Jefferson. We went in over there and called for some more help to cover up the buildings and everything. Shut those down. He wasn't there, and then we got a report that he was in the library at Marsalis and in Jefferson.
Where were these reports coming from, Jerry?
From people who had heard the description of the man. Then when we got to the library and found out that was another false alarm, the 3rd call came in that he had been seen entering the Texas Theater. Bob Barnett from the FBI and I went into the theater, and everybody else covered off outside. We started checking out the patrons in the theater. The movie was still going on. And on the 3rd one that McDonald started to approach, who was sitting in the 3rd row from the back in the center section, just as McDonald got to him, he jumped up and yelled, "This is it." And he struck McDonald in the face and grabbed for a pistol, which he had under his shirt. When he did that, Mac yelled, and all 7 of us got into a fight and finally got him subdued and handcuffed, or disarmed and then handcuffed. And we were then instructed by a captain to get him out of there and get him to Central Station as fast as we could. Incidentally, Paul Bentley was in on it with us. When we got him outside, I don't know whether the people in the neighborhood had just heard about the policeman's death or whether they had heard about, I'm sure they'd heard about the president's too. But there were some 600 to 800 people outside yelling, "Kill him," and this, that, and the other, and some more officers had to be pressed into service right quick that didn't actually have their hands on him to force the crowd back so we could get him in the car without anybody touching him. We brought him down and turned him and the pistol and everything over to Captain Fritz. The boy that we apprehended for shooting Officer J.D. Tippett is an employee of the book factory where the shots that killed the president were fired from. He was seen on the floor below the window where the shots were fired some 15 minutes prior to the shooting. He was a former U.S. Marine marksman who defected to Russia in 1957 and returned to the United States approximately a year ago with a Russian bride, I understand. He did admit in the interrogation a while ago he was an active communist. He has not admitted the shooting of the president or the governor or the police officer, but a gun was found on the 6th floor where it had been hidden that I have been told, and I can't verify this either way, was made in Argentina. The man, I understand, has resorted to violence before and possibly shot another policeman somewhere. He won't admit anything other than he was a communist. He started screaming brutality as soon as we got the handcuffs on him. And when he got down here and was talking to Fritz and them, the only thing he said is, when I told you I was a communist, I admitted everything. I'm going to tell you your words to that effect. And I want a lawyer. I demand my rights. But circumstances being as they are with all the other situations together, I firmly believe that we got the man who killed the President of the United States.
Did you talk to him any?
Bob, he's very arrogant. We offered him an opportunity on the way to the station. We told him there were going to be a large number of photographers there, and we quite naturally, automatically, everybody thinks brutality when if you catch a cop killer, you know. We told him that that there would be photographers there, and if he wanted to hide his head, we would hold him loose enough. We were going to hold him, but he could bend over and hide his face against his chest, or just bend over where they couldn't get a clear view of him or anything like that. This he refused to do. While he would not admit anything, he seemed very arrogant and proud of what was happening to him.
Didn't show any sign of nervousness at all?
Didn't show any sign of nervousness at all. Continually made threats against the officers all the way downtown, and I rode in the car with him about the brutality of his rights, and made the statement when we started questioning about killing the officer. He made a statement. He said, "I don't have to tell y'all anything."
What kind of a weapon did he use to kill the officer with, Jerry?
38 snub nose. It was fired twice, and both shots hit the officer in the forehead.
What are they going to do with him now?
Captain Fritz and Secret Service and the Rangers and the FBI have all questioned him. And the halls out here are working live with people, quite naturally. And they moved him upstairs for a little while. And I'm sure that later they'll bring him back down and interrogate him some more, but they wanted to go out to his house and check, find his car and all that stuff, and see, if they could find any more things that would tie him in. Understand that this is being done quite rapidly, and that some of the pieces are falling into place pretty good.
You've heard the report of Jerry Hill, Officer Jerry Hill of the Dallas Police Department, who arrested Lee Oswald as a suspect in the shooting of the President of the United States, and you can read between the lines sufficiently to know it has meaning.